So the next key to unlocking the bard is what I call identifying images. Okay, we're going to identify images. Shakespeare's language is full of images, just packed full, just bubbling over with images. And unless you can understand them and sort of unravel them and see how the character is using them, then they just kind of go over your head and you miss a lot of the richness in the language, okay? So we're looking for any kind of imagery, similes, metaphors, any allusions to other images that might be happening. And as we do that, we'll start to see how is the character using those images, or we want to ask that question: how is the character using the image? And here's one assumption that you want to make as you unravel this language. Assume that the character needs these images to complete the action. Okay? So here, as Romeo is trying to figure out, what do I do? Should I speak to this girl or not? What do I do with all these emotions? He uses these images to kind of sort through what he's feeling, and as he does, he gains some clarity. Okay? So let's look at these images. The first one is, what light through yonder window breaks? He's actually seeing a light in a window, but he uses the word breaks. See, that word breaks sends off a little idea in his mind. That light breaking is like the dawn breaking, and he says it is the east. And Juliet is the sun. So now he's comparing Juliet to the sun. So she is this glowing ball of light in his world. And that's how he perceives her, right? And he says, arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. So now we have two images at play. We have this sun rising and this moon here. And he's talking about the sun killing the moon, just destroying the moon. Okay? And then we continue with a few more images, right? The moon, who's already sick and pale with grief. So now we have a moon that's not only just a moon, but a moon that's capable of grief. So this moon is becoming sad. Do you see how the images start to enrich our experience of what Romeo is going through? Okay, she's already sick and pale with grief, that thou her maid art far more fair than she. So now he's saying that Juliet is the moon's maid. The moon doesn't have maids, right? But in this case, he's making a comparison and starting to create this image of Juliet, the sun that is the maid of the moon, killing the moon, right? Because the moon is envious. So now this moon is capable of envy, right? And so as we sort through all of these images, we start to kind of have a strong picture of what he's feeling, what he's doing, what he's thinking, okay? And as he does that, these images help him sort through, what am I feeling about this girl up there in the window? Wow, she is just beautiful. And that's the only way he could describe her. So he needs that language, he needs those images in order to describe this girl, in order to understand how beautiful she is. So that's what the images can really do for us, and that's part of what makes Shakespeare's language so evocative and so exciting, because these images are so powerful and so poetic and sometimes beautiful, sometimes ugly, but they elicit certain emotions in the audience, partially because they're an outgrowth of what the character is experiencing.